What do you want to do with the rest of your life? That's a pretty broad question, right? But think about it. How you answer that question may have a lot to do with your gender and how you were raised. Do you want a full-time career? What career or job do you want to have? Do you want children? If so, do you want to stay at home with them while they're young? Have you thought about how that might impact your career and ultimately how much money you'll make in your life? Do these questions even matter to you? This week we're looking at careers. Nowadays, most women actually want a career, even if they also want children. And this is difficult to figure out a lot of the time. The work world wasn't originally designed to have women in it. When almost every adult woman was essentially a stay-at-home mom, the people in the workforce didn't have to worry about things like maternity leave or childcare costs or taking time off work to care for a sick child because they were all men and their wives did all that. But as soon as women started entering the workforce, which obviously was a great thing, all of a sudden there were a lot of things for employers to worry about that they hadn't had to before. And a lot of these things could cost them money, which wasn't desirable. For example, do you hire the newly married young woman? Well, maybe she's going to get pregnant soon and you'll have to find someone new. That's no good, better just hire the man who applied. But it's not even just about having children that made and still makes women in the workforce challenging. They were, and often still sadly are, seen as unwelcome, incompetent, or distracting because of their womanly charms and ways. A lot of men were certainly resistant to have women intrude on their boys' club, where they went to get away from their wives and families, where they didn't have to be gentlemen all the time. And it's still hard for women to break into some of these old boys' clubs in higher levels of management, especially if the senior managers are meeting at a gentleman's club or a strip club or even a golf club to socialize, but really to talk business deals. These are environments that are either offensive or hostile to women or simply unwelcoming for them. So the males go off and talk business while the female or females are excluded. And of course, when women entered the workforce, many were sexually objectified. Young female secretaries were pinched and squeezed and touched and gawked at by the male employees and employers, but this was just how it was. And although explicit sexual harassment like this is much less common now, thanks to explicit rules about how it's not okay, there are still many, many subtle forms of sexual harassment going on in offices and workplaces all over the world that make having a career and a job often a much more challenging and unpleasant experience for women than for men.